My name is Celeste Hamilton, and I'm here today to discuss with you all why prostitution should be legalized in the United States. Now, obviously, I cannot observe everyone's reactions, but I know the face you just made. Prostitution? Many people believe prostitution is disgusting. But what's disgusting exactly? Sex? Because if you ask me, sex is completely natural. In fact, it is very likely that someone had sex in order for you to exist. So what really is it that people find so appalling about prostitution? Now, of course, I would not be here right now if I did not have an answer to that question. It is nothing but stigma. Much of this stigma comes from outward views on prostitution. It is a common belief that prostitutes do not practice safe sex, putting themselves and their clientele at risk for STDs and STIs. Unfortunately, due to the United States ban on prostitution and lack of regulation, the stigma does not fall far from the truth. Luckily, regulation is possible. According to Global News, there are dozens of countries who have legalized prostitution, to include, but not limited to, Finland, Germany, Colombia, and even some counties in the United States. In the same article published by the Global News and Canadian Press, which can be found under the title Prostitution Laws Around the World, we find information regarding each country's approach to legal prostitution. I want to focus on the Netherlands. Here, prostitution has been recognized as a legal profession since the 1980s. Because of this, it is heavily regulated, requiring sex workers to be licensed and tasking municipalities with workplace and service safety inspections. This means regulating the use of barrier contraceptives, such as condoms, eliminating child sex work, and guaranteeing safe working conditions. The Netherlands' regulation policies provide us with a base model of what legal regulated prostitution can look like. As mentioned, with the regulation of barrier contraceptives such as condoms and mouthguards, the assumption that prostitutes breed STDs will be null. Whether you like it or not, sex sells. Literally. If you're not fully immersed in today's American politics, I can tell you that our representatives are constantly discussing the state of our economy or how to generate more jobs for Americans. According to Britannica, the encyclopedia, there's estimated to be 1 to 2 million individuals working as prostitutes in the United States alone. That is 1 to 2 million positions that go unrecognized, as prostitution is not currently viewed as a valid method of employment. This number does not even include the support staff positions that would be generated if prostitution was legalized. Now let's talk about money. The Office of National Statistics estimates that the business of prostitution brings in upwards of $6.3 billion American dollars yearly in the UK. This number was derived from their estimated 61,000 prostitutes, average cost per visit, and average number of clients per week. Imagine if these numbers were applied to prostitution statistics in the United States, having around 32 times as many prostitutes as the UK. Using the same calculations, we potentially gross up to $208 billion each year from prostitution. But all of this money is tax-free. If prostitution was legalized, regulated, and recognized by the IRS as a valid form of employment, the tax revenue received from $208 billion would be a world's difference for our economy. But instead of this, we arrest 70 to 80,000 prostitutes yearly, costing taxpayers nearly $2 million according to HG, the leading publisher of online legal resources. There are much better things that we could put our time, money, and manpower towards than prosecuting adults who choose to engage in sex for money. Now, I know that the money sounds amazing, but that's not my main concern. Unregulated prostitution is unsafe. Found in analysis of the U.S. Supplementary Homicide Reports database, street prostitutes are 60 times more likely to be murdered than non-prostitute females, likely due to the fact that their current working conditions are sketchy. Adding insult to injury, according to Sex Workers Outreach Project USA, prostitutes are significantly more likely to fall victim to sexual assault. While legalizing prostitution might not completely eliminate acts of physical and sexual violence, it will give sex workers a platform to speak up. Previously, due to their positions, sex workers found trouble and still find trouble in reporting crimes committed against them, as their line of work makes them susceptible to punishment and great scrutiny. sex work was legalized and regulated, many of the fears that sex workers have when reporting these crimes would be laid to rest. Just like theft, drugs, and even Kinder eggs, outlawing something will never stop it from existing and occurring. The same truth applies to prostitution, as evident by the fact that prostitution is ranked as the 10th most common reason for female arrests. So, when you imagine a community that is safer, healthier, happier, and wealthier, the prospects are attractive. I want you to evaluate your internal biases and really consider the opposition to legalizing prostitution. Regardless, the benefits are clearly defined. Prostitution should be legalized and regulated.